Hi everybody, and welcome to the Not So Many book. This is called Explore New Places. It's got the word adventure up here, just go, and then this little sign says Explore New Places. If you're looking for it on your kit name, it's right up here in the top corner or bottom corner of your instruction sheet. So this is a really fun little book. So let's get started on it. You'll find that it's easier than it looks. So this is how it works. Cover has lots of embellishments. Here's the inside of the book. And you just pull it open and this is what it does. Cool, huh? One more time. We'll do it one more time. Okay? And it just takes a few minutes and yours will do exactly the same thing. So I'm going to put this away and we'll get started. One of the very first things that you need are two heavy white chipboard pieces. Looks like this. They're about 12 inches long by maybe 5 1/4 wide. And you have 4 sheets of paper that are all exactly the same size. What you want for the cover of your book are the two that have they're kind of an aqua color with an airplane, maybe a compass. The back side are a light turquoise. So locate those 4 pieces and we'll get started. Some of the chalk ink colors for this are, you could use pumpkin pie, you could use chunky monkey, blueberry bliss, and Baja blue. Another good one for this, if you have it, is Bermuda. Aqua would be a really good one. Any of the tropical colors will work really well for this. What I think you should do though is go ahead and add adhesive, and the best adhesive for this is, there's several things. You can use just the regular tape gun like this if you choose to. You can use red line tape or score tape, and that's really heavy duty and it will I think I did this right. Anyway, little bleep in my video there. But you need these 2 pieces, chipboard, and 2 pieces that are exactly the same size of the turquoise paper, turquoise on wax. Now you can use either side of this paper that you choose, really. We chose this side because it has a fun pattern on it. But if you want to use the more plain, gorgeous turquoise color, feel free to use that. But what you're going to do is add adhesive all the way around onto your white chipboard, or you can put it on your paper if you want. That's totally up to you. I'm going to put it on the chipboard right along the edge. And if you want a little extra support, do an X in the middle. And just keep in mind that when you go to add this, you have to make sure that you get it in the right spot the first time around, because you know how hard it is to pull paper up off of adhesive that doesn't want to give very well. So what I like to do is just kind of lay this on it. Here, this is the side with the adhesive. Just kind of tip it on its side, and then just very carefully kind of back this paper up into it, because that means it's level on the bottom because of the table, and then it makes it nice and easy to adhere to this without any edges left over. So see, don't have anything left over and it's on there, piece of cake. So go ahead and do that with both pieces of your paper, keeping in mind though that one will be the front and one will be the back. So if you have a piece that looks, and some of the papers might look different because they're cut from different parts of the same paper line, but if this one has this or this and you want to make sure that it is right side up, just make sure that when you glue it on, you keep in mind where it is so it doesn't end up upside down. So let's add some adhesive to this one. Now if you're using red line tape or score tape, it takes a little bit longer. So if you need to stop the video any time, that's okay, you can do that. So again, I'm just kind of lean it up and back this piece right up into it. And that helps to get your everything squared up, and it goes really quick that way. So again, I want to kind of keep in mind what's up, straight up, and what's not up. The next thing that you need is a piece of paper that looks like this. It's stripes on one side, yellow on the other side, and it looks like there's a piece that's coming off, and that does need to come off. That is a scrap, so you can just toss it out, or you can save it for embellishments later. So if you look really close on the yellow side only, you'll see score lines. The first one is in about 1/2 inch from the edge, from the right edge, and also the left edge. And then everything in the all the way across, they're score lines, but they're 1 inch apart. So you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 score lines. So go ahead and fold along those score lines. And I will say, because those score lines were put on with our laser machine, they are on one side. If you try to turn it over and fold it against the score lines, it doesn't come out as nice and crisp as it should. So what I suggest is go ahead and fold it so that your stripes meet stripes, and that means you're folding it like this on every score line all the way across, just to get it limbered up, okay? So fold it, and don't accordion fold yet. Fold it all the same way, all the way across. So again, your first score line is in 1/2 inch from both sides, and all your other score lines are 1 inch apart. So once you kind of locate those, you can just start folding all your paper, going all the same way. Crease it along those score lines. And again, you should have 11 score lines. Okay, so it should look like this right now. So what I want you to do, though, is start, once you get it all limbered up and folded all one way, we are going to accordion fold, but we want to make sure that we're all doing it the same so we can work on it, keep everything the same as we go. So this first score line, you need to fold so yellow meets yellow, okay? And that would be the same for the one on the other side. Fold so yellow meets yellow. And then going from left to right, our next score line will be a mountain. Okay, see, our first little 1/2 inch one is a valley. The next one is a mountain. The next one would be a valley, okay? And accordion all the way across. So you have valley, mountain, valley, mountain, valley, mountain, all the way across. And you can use a bone folder a little bit on this if you want to. You just don't want to get carried away, because these score lines are made by the laser machine, and that means it's already broken down the paper just a little bit. So you don't want to use it so hard that you break down the fibers, and then your book may fall apart. So just be kind of gentle when you use your bone folder. So that should end up looking like this, okay? So your first is a valley, peak, all the way across. And then the next thing you're going to do is take the two pieces, okay? They were the white on one side, the chipboard on one side, and then you added the paper to the front. One will be the back and one will be the front. But keep in mind that we need to turn them over so that the inside of the front cover and inside of the back cover is showing. Then you're just going to add some adhesive. This is a 1/2 inch right here. This little flap right here is a 1/2 inch. So you want to add adhesive that's about a 1/2 inch. You can put it right onto the chipboard, or you can put it right onto the striped side. of this little 1/2 inch flap beyond the score line, okay? I chose to put mine all right on the chipboard, but you can do whichever one you want. And then again, this gets a little bit tricky. When you go to add this to your chipboard, you want to make sure that this score line is flush with this outside edge, okay? Score line is flush with the outside edge, okay? So that 1/2 inch piece beyond the score line will be attached to your book cover, okay? So you can see here where this 1/2 inch part overlaps and glues to your book cover. And I got mine messed up just a little bit, so. Okay, so you're going to do the same thing to the other side. Keeping in mind, again, you want to make sure that your book cover, if you flip it over, this is right side up. You don't want it to be like that, because then you'll, I mean, if you want to, you can do whatever you want, but that's the goal is to have them both right side up, I would think. So adhesive, and again, you're going to, and I like to turn it just a little bit so I have a little more control on getting this onto my, so the striped side will be glued, that 1/2 inch flap, and the striped side will be glued to your book cover, and that's the back cover. Okay, so right now it should look just like this. Here's your front, and all this in here is your book binding, okay? And all this yellow is your book binding. Left front cover, right back cover, and these are the insides. So the next thing that you need to do is you're going to add, you have 2 papers, they're stripes, one side, yellow the other side, and you can use either side that you want. If you want it all to match perfectly, you can use the yellow side. We chose to use on the insides of the book, we use the stripes, okay? But you can use whichever side you want because it all works really well. So again, add adhesive all the way around. And sometimes it's fun. I didn't mention this before, but it's kind of fun to, where's some of my chalk here? Add some color into these. And if you want to add some color to your book cover, on the front you can do it after you get it glued. After you get it glued to see how much nicer and easier it is to chalk up the front now that you have it glued to that chipboard background. Same way, all kinds of support. And you can pretty much do that with the inside too. It's just a little harder because you have this here. But if you want to chalk up your piece, your inside cover, before you get it on, this is a good time to do it. Once you get your chalk around the edge, you'll add it to the inside front cover. Same with the back, inside back cover. Okay, so your piece should look like this right now. Okay. Now we need to add the pages, and this is what makes it work, okay? So you have in your kit, you have 3 sets of pages. This is the biggest one. This is your actual pages. This is the medium size, and this is like a photo mat. There's 15 of these, 15 of these, 15 of these, and then also 15 of the 3.5 by 3.5. So all of these are photo mats. You need 15 of each. And I'm going to open that book back up and show you why. And then we'll get started on showing you how to put the pages in. So when we open the book up here, okay, so you can see the yellow page in the background, and that's the 3 7/8 by 5. That's your actual page. And then the medium size, there's different prints, different colors, okay? 4.5 by 3.5 go on the bigger pages. And then when you have a partial page, because of the spine, you have room for 3.5 by 3.5. So I'm just going to open this up slowly so you can kind of see. Here's 3 pages, okay? 3 actual pages. Then you have a medium photo mat, small photo mat, medium photo mat. The next page, you open it up, small, medium, small, then medium, small. You know, it just goes back and forth all the way through. And on your instructions, it has all these little pieces laid out. So if you want to follow that, you can. If you want to do your own thing, just know that you have 15 pages and 15 photo mats of each size. So let's start putting those on. I'll show you how that works. So you have your piece laying in front of you, your book and its cover. So we're going to take a yellow page, and that's the 3 7/8 by 5. And what we're going to do is add it to the left side of that first mountain peak, which is right here, okay? In order to do that, we need to add adhesive to the one short side. And being you have an inch on this little mountain peak right here, you can add adhesive to an inch of this paper. So go in about an inch. You don't want to go more than an inch because then it will make your book hang up. So this first piece, 3 7/8 by 5, this first page is going to adhere, okay, on the left side of this mountain peak, flush to the top of that peak, and then the bottom of this goes right down into the groove there of your first score line. So that is your first page. Okay, looks like that. So now your second page, exactly the same thing. You're going to add adhesive to 1 inch only, and then you will put it flush to the bottom, and it tucks right down. It tucks right down into that groove of that score line, and there you have page 2. So page 1 and page 2. Now to get page 3 on this same mountain peak, you're not going to add it to the front like you did these two. You're going to add it to the back side. And with that said, you're going to, if you want, let me open this book one more time so you can see how that works. If you want the stripes or the yellow to show, that's up to you. But if you want the stripes to show, you're going to add your adhesive to the stripe side. So here, the top one, like we have a yellow page, and the bottom, a yellow page. This one is on the back side, and if we have the stripe side showing, so if you want the stripe side showing, again, you will add adhesive to the striped side of the paper. And it goes on the right side of the peak, and it's kind of nice to turn this around so you can make sure you center it right in between those two. There's just a slight little bit of space in between. There's a slight bit of space in between the middle page and the top and bottom, just so that your pages don't interfere with each other. Okay, so you're going to just add it in there like that, and that is your first 3 pages. Okay, now keep in mind that every step is exactly the same as we just did. The next page that you put on will go here. flush to the top and on the left side of the second mountain. Okay. The next page again. At the bottom on the left side of the second mountain. Then your third one on the second mountain. Again, it goes right on the striped side, but it goes on the back side of the second mountain. So exactly the same as page one. And as you go along, sometimes it's kind of nice if you are really trying hard to get your papers to match up. If you end up laying it out, laying it over like this or this, you can kind of tell if page one is kind of lined up with the one behind it, okay? So they're not all cattywampus all across. So sometimes that helps a little bit too. But this is the same process all the way through, okay? All the way through. So go ahead and work on that a little bit and get all your yellow pages on. And again, you can use either side of these pages that you want. They're all yellow on one side, they're all stripes on the other side, so you can mix it up if you want to, or you can use it exactly like we did. You have in your kit a sheet of instructions for your front cover and for all your folding of your spine and how to put the pages on, so make sure you hang on to that, okay? But you've conquered the biggest share of this. Now, when you go back, you have all your pages in. Then you go back and start using your 4.5 by 3.5 pages, and they're an aqua color on one side and turquoise on the other side. There's one that has a board pattern and then a deeper teal on the other side. And the same with the 3.5 by 3.5 squares, okay? So what you'll end up doing is you'll choose a side, and we chose this side. This goes on next, the 4.5 by 3.5, okay? Goes on the aqua side. And we did the same at the bottom. 4.5 by 3.5 goes on the aqua side, and these are just photo mats. These are not part of the pages necessarily, they're photo mats. So then your 3.5 by 3.5, they always end up going on the page that has the smallest space to add a photo mat. And the reason why it changes every page is because here you're putting, when you turn the page, you can, on the front you can see the little ones in the middle, and then when you turn the page it switches. Your little ones are on top and bottom, okay? So that's how it'll work all the way through your book. Now you can take these and use any pattern that you want. You'll end up with 4 patterns, two different papers, but 4 different patterns if you choose to use the back side. So then once you flip this over, you have a small, and a bigger one in the middle. Same here, big, big, small in the middle. Then once you've turned the page, there's the spine of your book, and there's your little piece, and your bigger one in the middle. And it works like that all the way through. If that makes it easy, if you want to change it up and add your own little pattern to that, feel free to do that. But that is the basics of your book. And then it takes a little bit of time to open this and close it a few times till it gets really limbered up, and then it will open and close. See, it needs a little bit of maybe bone folder, or you can set a book on it for a little bit, but really doesn't take long for it to get limbered up. Just see how nice and tight that one is, and then it just opens up all by itself. Okay, so let's work on the outside of this just a little bit. It takes a little time to get all those pages in, but I'll show you how to do the outside and the pieces that we will need for that. And it's kind of fun. you have these are the pieces that you will need. You have 2 frames. One is white, one says adventure, and this adventure will end up gluing on right over the top of the white frame. And that white frame, I'm thinking I left it white just because this pretty blue pretty much covers up the whole frame, and it's a nice contrast. But you could, if you were going to chalk it up, I would use Baja Blue, or I would use maybe Bermuda, either one of those. But we left it so it's pretty much just white in the background. Then you're going to need a little partial sunshine. You have some tags. And you have some chipboard tags. Okay, so those layer on each other. You have some little words that say just go. Little chipboard rings with the word just go. I have 2 little round circles that go behind just go. And we have several flowers that we can chalk up and layer up. That's always fun. A little spray of leaves, a little tiny bit of leaves, an arrow, and a piece of ribbon that we're going to just cut in half. And these are for tag tops. And I like to, when I cut it in half, go ahead and cut a nice sharp diagonal. And that way, if you have a little hole as far as your tags go, that little point of your diagonal will end up going through that hole much, much easier. And then here's a little piece that goes behind your word, Explore New Places. So let's go ahead and put some of this together while we have all this out here. The first thing that we will do, and what I like to do, is add this, don't put any adhesive in this top corner for the moment, because we're going to tuck the sunshine in behind. So some adhesive, this goes on about right here, about 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch down from the top. Pretty much centered. And then you can add your little sunshine, tuck in behind. And again, you don't want to glue it down completely anyway, because you want to put a picture in behind there. So if you're just wanting to get it put together, make sure that you leave that top open, and maybe just a little spot of glue down there at the bottom. And then your sunshine just tucks right in here. It looks like a full sunshine. Once you get your picture in, it'll look like it's just peeking out over the edge there. And the next thing you want to do is tags. Now, you can make your tag yellow, or you can turn it over and use the striped side. On this one, you can use the board pattern, or you can turn it over and use the teal side. We use the teal side and the striped side on ours, but it's totally up to you. If you turn your paper over, you got to turn your chipboard over so it matches. And I like to add my paper to my chipboard, and then we'll add some chalk. It just gives you that much more support, and it kills 2 birds with 1 stone. So just lightly grab the edges of both of those pieces. See how nice that just chalks up the edges of everything all at the same time. Sometimes I like to put a little more on the corners just for fun. Same here. And maybe we'll use a little darker one on this. We'll try that. So this is just, again, just very light-handed. And it catches both edges all at the same time. And if you want to leave those white, completely white, you can do that too. That's what it looks like if you add some color. Thread one of your pieces of ribbon right through the tag hole. tie a little knot. I'm not even tying a knot, I'm tying it one time because grosgrain ribbon tends to have that nap that is nice and ridged so that your first knot stays in good shape. You don't have to really cinch it down with a second tie. So a little bit of mitered corners, or you can cut a little V shape in the corner on your ends of your ribbon if you want to. Totally up to you. Pull it down nice and snug. Trim your ends. And your tags are done. So the tags are probably the next thing that needs to go on, and they are going on the striped one first. Kind of right here. And then the turquoise one second. And then you have this little leaf that needs to tuck in behind, and I would try maybe some it's either the Chunky Monkey or the Pumpkin Pie. This is actually Butter Pecan. That's a really good one to add some color. I think the Pumpkin Pie would be a little brighter, so if you want something a little bit brighter, that would work. But it's just kind of nice to add just a little bit of different color to the ends of your leaf. And I don't even try to get into that stem. It's too hard, and it starts to look messy if you get too much on. So this little guy is going to tuck in. Probably should have gone on first, but it's hard to judge where you want that little thing until you kind of get other things in place. Okay, and then you have the words just go, and these have, we put a little chalk just on the edges, so just tap those edges just a little with your, and I'm using Bermuda on this one. Like this Bermuda, it goes with a lot of things. And then it goes, I'm just going to add a little adhesive just to get it in place onto a yellow circle. And the word just go goes onto your tags. And then you have the word explore. So you want to explore new places. Cut that out. And I would use, because this is a dark edge, and if you don't get quite all the white cut off, use your little deep sea. That's another really gorgeous dark blue color. See how it just cleans up those white edges all really quickly? And then that mounts onto this little white paper that you have in your kit. And we put pop dots behind this. It's not, they're not included, but if you have pop dots, or you can make your own out of a scrap of chipboard, goes on here. And I'm not using pop dots, but it really is, makes it cute to add just a little bit of pop dot behind it. A little yellow leaf that goes off the bottom. Tucks around there at the bottom. and you have a white chipboard arrow. And we changed the color of that, and I would suggest a darker color like deep sea. That goes on pretty much just as a cute little embellishment right over. Okay, and then your flowers, you have some flowers that you're going to layer up. I'll do just one of those just to show you how that works. And you can layer these up in any manner that you choose. Let's see, I think I'll do this, this, and this. So to do chalk up flower edges, this is kind of fun because you just hold it loosely in your hand and just, I have Baja Blue here, and just gently grab the ends of those, and you can go around as many times as you want, get it as dark or as light as you want. And as you go, chalk a little heavier as you go around, it just kind of automatically gets itself into those little cracks and crevices. Might be fun to add a little bit. Let's try this dark deep sea. I'll try it, and then if I don't like, you don't like it, you don't have to do it. Oh, that's kind of fun. Look how it just changes the color all over again. So that's your first layer of flower. And let's see. I think we'll use butter pecan on this one. The other one that would work really good is chunky monkey on this one. And that layers onto. And since this book is not something that has to go down in a page protector, it's kind of fun to peel these little, or curl these little ends up on your flower just a little bit. Just put just a little bit of dark blue on this. Kind of like that. This deep sea is really a pretty color. And so that's just a layer. And then once you get that done, you have 3 little buttons in a little packet, a little tiny packet, and that goes right button right in the center. And that's your little layered flower. So these little layered flowers end up just a spray of flowers around the bottom, and you're done. Isn't that the cutest book and so easy? And you could totally do this over and over again at home. So thank you for listening. If you have any troubles at all with this book, let me know. Email me at patsy@shopquickquotes.com, and I can help you answer any questions, and have fun with this. This is a really fun one, great for summer pictures. So go out and have a good time with this, and we'll see you at the next class.